Welcome to Deadly Match, a murder mystery by Kelly Marshall. The stars of our story are Seattle homicide detectives Nick Winston and his partner Pat Strom. The two detectives toil through Seattle's dark underbelly, searching for killers who strangle, stab, or shoot their victims. The detectives are an odd couple. He's straight, she's gay. He's a charmer, she's no BS. They chide and criticize each other, but when the chips are down, Winston and Strom are back to back, protecting Seattle from criminals with murder on their minds. Here's Deadly Match. My name is Pat Strom, homicide detective, Seattle PD. The Emerald City has been my home for the past 10 years. I consider myself lucky to work with a partner who has my back. He's good people, but yeah, Nick Winston can be a homophobic asshole sometimes. I have to put him in his place once in a while, just to remind him he's not the only detective who wears the pants.
Hope I didn't interrupt anything hot and heavy.
Quiet night at the Hacienda, Nick. Why the late call? Prostitute?
Unknown. Put the hurry on. The King 5 newshounds are piling out of the van, and they're heading for the dumpster. The Vic's head, hands, and feet have been chopped off. We don't want that as the headline on the 10 o'clock news. I gotta go block them.
I hopped off the couch and shouldered into my leather jacket.
Nickerson Street Saloon, 318 Nickerson Street. I'm in the alley behind the bar. You can't miss the floodlights. CSI has got enough to illuminate the Space Needle.
I pressed end on my cell phone, holstered my Glock, and scurried to my car. I floored the gas pedal and barreled through the traffic, weaving between the slowpokes. The Nickerson Street Saloon was easy to find. Yellow crime scene tape ribboned both sides of the block behind the pub. Nick waved me over as I slowed to a stop. I strolled towards Nick. He cocked an eyebrow. Well, you said hurry.
Damn, you got here fast. Did you kill anybody on the way over?
I looked past my partner and saw the King County coroner squatting over a white tarp. A severed head lay on its side. She'd been a looker. Dark eyes and ink-black hair pasted with blood. She have an ID on her? Nick shook his head.
No, her torso hasn't turned up yet.
Pretty girl. Somebody's going to be missing her tonight. Have you talked to Carter yet?
Just waiting on you.
Since when have you become so considerate?
You always think the worst of me. Lighten up. I've been watching forensics dig through the dumpster.
Messy job.
Damn glad it's not mine.
I smiled and shook my head. Nick was sometimes a nice guy and sometimes a profane dick. Frankly, I like both of them.
Let's see what Carter has to say.
We slogged our way to where the medical examiner stood up and nodded at us. Carter was a dinosaur who'd been examining bodies for King County for over 30 years. Acerbic and dry, he was surprisingly kind on occasion. He loved to rib Nick about my partner's queasy stomach during autopsies. Carter and I began providing him with vomit bags before each post-mortem. Nick's responses were varied, but always profane. Hi, John. Do we have an idea of the time of death? Carter shook his head and admitted the time was hard to tack down because without a body, he had no way to take an internal temperature. But he did add, given the lack of insect infestation, he projected the time of death was recent, a matter of just a few hours. Until more of the corpse was found, his job of proving mode, manner, and cause of death would be impossible. There would be no autopsy for the time being, but he did promise to notify us of further developments. We left the coroner to pack up his van while we walked towards the pub's back entrance. Any blood around the dumpster?
None. This killing happened elsewhere. The head was discovered when a waiter threw garbage into the dumpster and saw a pair of eyes staring back at him.
Shit.
That's what he said. He didn't hear anything. A raucous bar on Friday night is usually as noisy as a Seahawks game on Sunday. I checked for other witnesses and found an addict sleeping against the back of the pub. He was incoherent. Saw nothing, heard nothing. After wiping drool off his chin, he slipped back into La-La Land.
Is that it?
I was propositioned by a hooker.
Well, how much did she want?
$50 for a blow.
Nick stuck a toothpick in his mouth. Good Lord, isn't that twice the going rate? Nick turned up the collar on his leather jacket and smiled.
She thought I was good for it.
You have to behave now. You're almost a married man. Nick scowled. I pressed the issue. How's Tandy? He glanced away.
She's still grieving. Things are... Well, I don't know how to answer that. I thought giving her the ring and asking her to marry me would help her heal, but things are different. She's physically there, but mentally and emotionally, she's kind of out to lunch. And sex? Well, she acts like a robot. I might as well have a blow-up doll.
Nick paused, his voice subdued. I clenched my right hand and bit back the reply I wanted to scream into his face. I took a deep breath. You've got to give her some time. She almost died, and she lost her baby.
I get that, but I don't understand women. That was our baby, not just hers.
Well, Nick, love's not easy. Sometimes it's hard work, and the only thing you can do is to be present, tell her you love her. She's just crazy about you. He shook his head and looked off into the distance.
I guess...
Maybe you should see a counselor. He rolled his eyes and turned to walk away.
I would rather swallow rat poison.
Just when I thought there was hope for this guy. Deadly Match is the 5th story in the Winston and Strawn Murder Mystery series. You'll find links to paperbacks and ebook versions of the previous mysteries on my website, kellymarshallbooks.com. Stop by and leave a comment. I love connecting with my murder mystery fans. My partner in crime is well-known radio and voiceover personality Larry Hines. He deserves credit for helping me voice and create this podcast. Say hello, Larry.
Hello there, this is Larry Hines, also known as
Nick Winston.
I am the other side of Kelly Marshall's podcast. Like Kelly, I have worked numerous radio stations around the globe, and I've done voice work all over the place. Anyway, I also do narration on specialty programming and radio station imaging. I look forward to working with my radio friend on her book podcasts as we update our new readings all the time. Stay tuned for our latest adventures. Thank you for listening.
Come back for the next episode of Deadly Match 2 weeks from now. Till then, stay safe.